Greetings to all. I want to thank everybody who chimed in and commented about the last video, about how ridiculous has become commonplace. There were some really nice comments and some good stories too on your UFO sightings there. I feel slightly better that it's not just me, my brother Bob, and the U.S. Navy that see these things. There are other gardeners out there who notice them too. So great comments. Thanks a lot. Got me thinking. It's just stimulating. I started thinking about sharing information. I mean, a lot of it goes on, there's a lot of information sharing out there. But it was a number of years ago that I don't know if I watched a video or read an article, cannot recall anymore, but it was about a theory in archaeology, or in the evolution of human species. It was really what it was about. And guys were trying to come up with a good reason why Homo Sapiens, the current form you see here in front of you, became the dominant species on planet Earth. Because Neanderthal, for instance, apparently existed for thousands and thousands of years up in Europe, doing just fine, but it looks like as Homo Sapiens began to spread out across the planet, other species of humans, like the Neanderthals or like Denisovans, gradually just kind of faded out of the picture. Genetic analysis these days will show that we all interbred, and so in a way they are us. We sort of merged as a species, I guess. Very few of us are actually pure Homo Sapiens. There are very few. I guess most white Europeans generally contain somewhere between 1 and 10% Neanderthal DNA. They say it imparted a disease resistance into our species. But it's still a mystery. What happened to them? I mean, I'm pretty sure that some of my neighbors in Wisconsin, that's what happened to them. But no, they sort of vanished. And the theory that I read about was that Homo sapiens were better at sharing information than other human species. That this is why we excelled, because we had maybe better language skills, and we had constantly chattering. As you all know, I am always talking about something, right? We do that. It's kind of hardwired into Homo sapiens that we get an idea of what's first thing we're going to do with it. Yeah, we go tell somebody else about it, or hide it because it's worth something, whatever. We understand this importance in information, and generally it amounts to sharing it. Whether we were trying to keep it a secret or not never really works in the long run, does it? And so, we shared information. Essentially, that's what I'm up to here on the channel. The sharing of information. We got one Neolithic man over here, and he's chipping flint, right? He's napping a thing, and he realized, wow, if he, held the flint in a piece of leather and hit it just right, that it would chip out in such a way. Next guy sees this, says, hey, what are you doing, Ugh? He says, oh, I got this thing down, look, And so, the idea gets spread around. It's possible, too, that Homo sapiens were more mobile. It seems like we got up, we moved more. And so any sharing of information was then carried and dispersed as it moved here and moved there. All worked out real good for us, right? We survived because we shared all of our best and our worst ideas. But times have changed. Years ago it was just small town gossip, and coconut telegraph, as we have here. Well, of course, then old Gutenberg, he came up with the printing press, and they started printing, leaflets, Bibles, whole libraries of material, magazines, newspapers. Newspapers were one of the real big informational sharing devices that we had for centuries, actually, ever since the Gutenberg press. They got started not too long after that. I know Ben Franklin had one. He used to produce and so on. Yeah, and so we just keep passing these ideas around amongst us, and it gets to the point where, hey, I turn on the news in the morning. Now, to some extent, I like looking at the ladies at the desk. Okay. Every now and then I find maybe somebody is kind of funny, and I get a kick out of it. It's a routine habit of mine to turn on the local news, see what's going on in Hawaii, but there you go. My daily dose of some sort of information coming in. Then I'll usually hit my computer, check out what you guys got to say out there, and send some emails out, check the news via the web. But things have changed because beyond Gutenberg's press, all of a sudden one day, the internet came. Man, I tell you, the internet is like small town gossip, totally on steroids with a turbocharger and one of Elon Musk's rocket boosters behind it. Stuff moves so fast now, and it goes everywhere, And, well, that's good, sort of, in a way. I mean, I remember listening to some yogi talk about how, today we have all the information of the human race right there at our fingertips with a mouse, and sadly, most of us never use it. Way true, isn't it? I mean, how many times people are just using this tool as, streaming video, man, or they're playing games, or they're on social media, all that sort of stuff. Very seldom, unless you're in school and you have a project, do you see people using the internet as the encyclopedia or like a global library, there is so much information out here. And lately it has come to our awareness that a lot of it is complete and total garbage. Okay. There has always been garbage. Snake oil has been out there all along, I guess, ever since somebody could pull a fast one over the next guy. I suppose we've been doing it. But now, with the internet, having the wool pulled over your eyes happens at warp speed, and it spreads like a wildfire. It's really important. It's really important. Yeah, when I couldn't even think straight in a restaurant because the guy at the next table was blah, 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 on his cell phone, I'm going, man, they should ban those things. Well, of course, then it got worse and worse because then they're carrying social media around with them, and now they're spreading garbage so fast. Anyway, I don't use them because I don't like what they do. They rewire your brain, frankly. They do. They do. So's this video, so's the computer, and so's everything, creates brain wiring. I just don't happen to like the type of brain wiring that comes from using smartphones on social media. But of course, we can all see the problems with this. Do I need to explain that the country has a problem with information right now? No, I don't even need to talk about it, do I? You all know that. Golly, the amount of trash that's been rammed down people's throats, it's huge. And a lot of it is that the Soviet Union was always trying to take down the United States during the Cold War. Well, now the Soviet Union fell apart, but what happened? The Russians are actually the ones that are spreading most of the dumb, stupid, dangerous stuff around social media, and again, doing it for a reason. bring the society down. Most democracies have never lasted more than 200 years, and they know that. As I said, no society ever lasts forever. And there are some societies that seem to have a concerted interest in making other societies fall apart and have hell, or try to change their own societies, or whatever they're doing. The warning, I suppose, from me is that understand the delicate balance that we have in this country that we call democracy, that has been supposedly one of the greatest nations on earth, etc., etc. We've been doing pretty good anyway. I like it. In general, I like it. And it's perishable. It takes human will to keep this thing running. And if you let people confuse you enough that you don't know your butt from a hole in the ground or a dog turd from Shinola, you got problems. That we all have problems, because the social structure begins to unwind. And with social media and with people actively attempting to try to deceive others on social media, it moves so fast and it's so powerful. I mean, Arab Spring, which is what stopped Obama from trying to pull out of Afghanistan. He had that plan too. Arab Spring, it was a social media event. Fired across the internet, and the whole Middle East pretty much lit up at that moment, started to burn. Yeah, it's a powerful thing. It's scary because we don't control it. The internet, it's the Wild West. Homesteading in Alaska closed the year I graduated from high school. We were all going there, but that was the end of that. So then the internet came. The internet may be digital and virtual, but man, it's the Wild West. Totally, it has been. They keep trying to control it, and they're not doing very well at all with that. I don't know if it should be controlled. My attitude is, rather than trying to make somebody else control their behavior, in most cases, it's more like control yours so you're not susceptible to it is a better approach, but whatever. And I believe that not all the information that's out there on the internet that's deceptive is deceptive for a malicious reason. I think there's just a lot of really confused people, too. All that is based on belief and belief systems. Okay. I've drawn the conclusion in this life that belief is the most dangerous thing that the human race has to face. It's not the atomic bomb. It's not cigarettes. It's not my ex-mother-in-law. It's belief. The reason why is that belief, by its very nature, implies that you cease judging things critically, at least in the area of your belief, because you have found the truth, supposedly. We believe in all sorts of different things. Like, I believe my car is going to start tomorrow. It's, probably no harm in that, and most likely it will. But political systems. People say, "Oh, Bill, you're being political." Well, I'm not political. I'm sorry. I just happen to live in this country. Okay, and I don't believe in any of the political system. Now, I'm just a citizen here, and I got my likes, my dislikes, my complaints, my attaboys, and whatever, And sometimes it comes from any direction, whatever. Good work is good work, as far as I'm concerned. When it comes to politics, they call it disloyalty, okay? When you don't get in line. When you don't get in line like a bunch of ducks and toe the political philosophy, that you're not loyal. Maybe you're even un-American. You're all kinds of different things, depending. Lately, I don't know, it's always been pretty smarmy when it comes to politics, but I'm really getting tired of listening to complain. If it's religion, if you go into religion and you start trying to think critically about things, well, you'll find problems with that, because if for no other reason, critical thinking in religion is heresy. Whenever I come across a piece of information in life that, it's important to me because I need it, or I'm interested in it, or whatever, I will usually never take that information from the first and the single source. I question everything. Plain and simple. I don't believe anything. And so, if it's information about canker on orange trees, I'll probably look at least a couple of different bits of information. And I am not going to go to YouTube, usually, to find that information unless the University of California has a video, or Dave Wilson Fruit Trees, grower in California, has a video, or somebody where the opinions and information I'm getting, I am pretty sure is going to be about as accurate as it gets. And so when it comes to horticulture, for instance, I have people ask me all the time about things that maybe I have no experience with. I don't generally have a lot of problems, right? People bring me problems. I look at them. Sometimes, if a guy's got an orange tree problem in Australia with a certain insect, well, I want to answer his question. But I have no experience. I've never, not with orange trees in Australia, Australian insects. I've never even been to Australia. They speak English. It's good. It makes it easier. But, so what do? Hey, I go on Google, I look up University of Sydney, citrus diseases, blah, 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 and I take a look and see what they got going on over there for problems in Australia. Match it against the guy's issues, say, yeah, that's the one, okay. And so then I'll deliver that information. Not everything you hear coming from me is coming right out of my head, all right, because I'm good at researching. As a matter of fact, I believe in it. I don't believe in taking any piece of information from somebody unless you have tremendous experience in this area without verifying it from a second or a third party. So, like if it's plant problems, either at UC Davis, which has a great IPM website, by the way, for people who don't want highly toxic pest controls. UC Davis, IPM, type that in, and then you'll come up with your tree. If it's a peach, UC Davis, IPM peach, type it in, and you'll get some really good information. University of Florida, also real good when it comes to more tropical things. UH Manoa here in Hawaii, real good. Sydney, Australia, real good. I mean, it's all in English, right? I can read it. I will commonly on issues with herbal medicines and things. I'll use European websites, things out of England, things out of Germany, because they deal with this there. We have too much of a corporate monopoly on medicines in this country to talk about something like herbs. So anyway, so where are you sourcing your information? This is critical. Off the top of my head, I'd say probably close to half or more of what you pick up off of social media is complete and total garbage. It's junk. There's no validity to it whatsoever. So it's not a place to look for information. If you're looking for gardening information on the internet and you're not going to go to some university, well, then come talk to me, because I will probably go to some university to get you the answer. Credible sources of information. Everybody's, the government's a lie and they've been deceiving us. And yeah, of course they've been deceiving us. So what? Not on everything. Okay, so, when I want data, I go to NOAA for weather. And I'm sorry, I'll go to the CDC for information on viruses and vaccines, thank you. And the Mayo Clinic, okay, and a number of other institutions, whether they're public or private, that really know medicine in this country. I go to medicine sources if I'm looking to find out things about viruses and diseases and maybe herbal medicines or whatever it is. Side effects from pharmaceuticals, I don't go to Joe Blow on the internet looking for this junk. I just won't do it. Use the highest source of information you can, but being critical, never accepting the answer the first time you get it as being a fact. You see, I don't expect anybody else to actually come to this conclusion, but I suppose maybe I should explain myself, because some of my thinking in that I simply don't have beliefs. I believe in nothing. Maybe I believe in myself. Okay, I believe that I exist. I have pretty good belief in my ability to determine what's going on here and so on, so I sort of trust myself. All right, so I believe that much, and I believe I'm here doing this. It's that will to be, at that part, the will there, this part of belief. So I go that far, but anything else you're talking about here, it don't matter what it is. In my mind, it's hypothetical. Everything in the universe is hypothetical. There is no solid truth. Everything will be subject to change in my brain wiring as better data comes forward and is presented, so I can realize that, I've been living in illusion all along, haven't I? Darn, okay. This probably is more likely the truth, and so I'll adapt that, and I'll bring it into myself. But it's always there with a question mark on it. Everything is. I don't think there's anything other than I'm here that doesn't have a question mark on it in my world. And of course, the more belief there is behind anything, insisting, usually the more I question it. And those types of things, you probably often find that there are opposing viewpoints, Well, it depends. I realize if you ask 10 different experts the same question, you'll probably, or can at least, get 10 different answers, and they might all be right, too. That truth, or the answer here, depends on point of view. Well, ask a guy about tomato pests. Well, one guy just loves heavy-handed chemicals, and, well, that's true, it works, Another guy wouldn't touch a chemical, A third person, well, they want some kind of an organic material they can use that might kill the bugs, and so forth, okay? No matter how many answers you get, they're possibly all right. It just depends on what appeals to you, what do you need for your situation? On the other hand, there are a lot of people put themselves up as experts who should not be doing that. Because the current situation right now, if you believe a lot of what you're hearing out there, you're in trouble. Yeah. People who should know better. People who should know better. Especially our leaders, because, right now, these guys are, it don't work. They're the leaders, right? This is the country. Look at the crap they start in the streets when they start that stuff. Next thing you know, we won't have to worry about, an amendment to the Constitution, because we're just going to do this thing with it and throw it into the air. Do you like your country? Has it been fairly good to you? Are you really suffering as bad as it looks like? Man, even the worst here is way better than what we see in other places. We got it good. And sometimes it aggravates me that people who have it so good think they have it so bad and they're so oppressed. It's pathetic. Yeah, it really is. Because I don't know, they're not getting it when you keep driving it, how wrong everything is. Okay, how everything's broken, everything's wrong. Yeah, it's broken. That's why, because you believe it, if you believe it's a depression and you stop investing in your business because you know a depression's coming. Yeah, depression's going to come. Your business is going to slide. It's the way it works. Your reality is the way you see it. And boy, right now, with all the information circulating, if you let anybody else in to try to tap into your reality and change your mind, a really honest person, a good human being, might tell you a story like the one I'm telling, but it's up to you. This is not religion. It's not politics. It's just one guy who lives in the country, who looks out there and he sees stuff, and some of it troubles him. Yeah, and so I'm telling you about it. They go, I'm troubled. Are you troubled by this stuff? Well, if you agree with me, then maybe we should be doing something about it, like agreeing on the fact that we need to have better filter on our information. I don't want more laws. I don't want anything shut down. I want it done here. That's, because I don't know how they managed it, man, but they've really managed to convince an awful lot of people of some of the dumbest stuff I have ever heard of. Yet, I live here. I hear the same stuff. I don't believe that garbage. Why don't I? How come I'm not susceptible to this? That's a good question, really, I think I know. But what I wish is that in sharing information, I wish that I could share a remedy, an answer to everybody else out there, is to stop believing that crap, because if you keep believing it, you're going to lose your country. We will lose our country. I live here too. Yeah. You start complaining about everything and you see everything around you as being wrong and it's flawed and blah, 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 blah. It's the wrong perspective to start from. You want a better world? Put a smile on your face. Get up in the morning and go, I'm going to make the world better for myself and everybody else. Go do something positive. Stop complaining about everything. Go do something. Yeah, I'm telling you what to do, right? Yeah. I think maybe you understand when it comes to controversial social issues, I'm not interested in going anywhere beyond there are UFOs out there and the Navy's chasing them. I'll cover that much. The rest of it, it's just too hair trigger. Yeah, well, y'all hang loose, stay well, and aloha.